disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me as always, my podcast partner, Mike Gibbs. What's happening?
Mean Woo Gene. I'm good. How are you?
I'm cool, man. Now, if this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Internet Network. On Mondays, we got Raw with Mimi and Lump. Tuesday is CTE, Chris Travis Experience. Wednesday is Fist, Kicks, Flicks with Gene and Mike. And Thursdays, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, you can check us out on social media, Martial Arts Internet Network, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Mike, it's showtime. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man?
Man, let me ask you this. Did you guys have spring in Indiana?
Yeah, it's nice, man. It's nice out right now. It was 91 today.
Man, that ain't spring. that's summer. That's what I was asking. Here in Michigan, man, we literally went from winter to summer. Couple days last week we were in the 50s and maybe the high 62, and then yesterday it was in the 90s, and today at one point I looked at it, said 94 degrees. So it
just
hot.
Skipped spring.
Just skip right over it, which it is what it is, man. I ain't gonna complain. I'm not complaining. I'm just,
Me either. I'm watering the grass right now so it don't burn up.
Yeah, man. I never complain about the heat because I hate winter. I'm not a winter person. I cannot stand winter, man. I don't like. It's nothing about winter I like. I don't like the snow. I don't like the ice. I don't like the cold. I don't like the spin outs. I don't like fishtailing. I don't like none of that. So, did you rewatch Shoot Fighter again?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right.
I'm still not sick of it. So, I mean, it's going to be my highest rated movie that we've watched.
Okay. Let's jump right back into the movie then, man. So we last left off, Shingo had just found out that the boys were in Mexico. Cheryl came in and told him that they were down there shoot fighting. And then he was in the kitchen talking to some older woman who they never explained who she was. I'm assuming it was his wife or something. And he kind of walked off and, feeling like it was all his fault. So let's jump right into it where we left off. Okay, so Cheryl, this was a silly part to me. So Cheryl is she's talking on the phone, and then the class is going on, and kids are like all around her. She was trying to get control of the situation. And then Shingo, he comes into the class, and he's making a weird noise, and he gets the kids' attention. They stop what they're doing, right? And they turn, and then one little kid just walks up and gets to a fighting stance. And threw a roundhouse kick at him, and then he went down to one knee, and the kid threw a roundhouse kick over his head, and then he gave the kid a fortune cookie, and then all of the kids came at him. One of the fortune cookie. Have you had a situation like that in your school where you had an assistant instructor teaching, and they really can't get control of the class the way that you can?
I can't say I have.
Mm-hmm.
I was very fortunate. I had some I'll just be honest with you. I didn't teach my little dragon classes. One of my black belts always did. I'll be honest.
Okay.
I guess they did okay. But I wasn't doing it, so they did okay enough.
You didn't really care for teaching your little dragons class, or?
I don't care. I just don't care for teaching white belts.
Oh wow!
I don't. It's just I like starting that
purple
from
belt.
novice, the novice going to intermediate, that's when I like to start because I always over critique.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my things as an instructor I have to work on, and that I just think of one of my shortcomings. I over critique, and I have to be very careful, and you can really bust the morale of a new student, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
If it becomes too repetitive of you're doing this wrong or this right, or
mm-hmm.
So
I don't really mind. I like teaching the white belts, but I just would not want to teach them 5 or 6 days in a row.
And that's what I was doing, though. I was open 6 days, but I mean, they're funny. They're hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they will say some stuff to blow your mind.
Right. Yeah, but it's just when you teach them 5 or 6 days in a row. I mean, that can you can get burned out real quick. I think the hardest thing for me, I know we're off topic, but I know a lot of people probably can relate to this. I think the hardest thing for me when it comes to white belt is teaching basic form number 1.
Oh,
that is the hard. Yes, that is the hardest thing. Because they're trying to learn this pattern that they're not familiar with, and it can get a little boring. And it takes a while to. I mean, I would say at least. I mean, depending on how many kids you have in the class, if you have maybe 10 or more kids as white belts and varying ages from 5 to 10, it might take you 6 weeks to teach basic form number 1, where you don't have to literally hover over them, changing their arms, telling them to change their feet, making sure they turn the correct way. That I could do the basics, the 1 steps, but it's that basic form number 1 is the most challenging.
Let me ask you this. I know we're off topic, but just curious. At what age do you teach like basic form 1?
I start all my classes at 4. So
you teach a 4-year-olds basic form 1?
Yeah, 4-year-olds.
Yeah. You gotta get you some assistant instructors, man.
I got one, and I finally was able to hire one, and then coronavirus came and put a pause on all of that.
You better eat that cost and get him back, because that's why I don't have hair.
Basics is fine. Basic kicks and blocks, all that's fine. It's just when it gets to basic form number 1, man. And I purposely started teaching basic form number 1 their 2nd month in my program, because I'm figuring, okay, by the time y'all get this down, you guys should be ready to test for that gold belt. So I'm kind of giving myself 2 months to get prepared to do it. But man, and those 4-year-olds, man, it's rough. Let's get back into the movie though. Okay, so after that, they are in the Chinese restaurants. The rednecks walk in again, and they walk up to Cheryl to speak to her. That was a little weird to me, because I don't think she knew what Ruben had already did. So they walked up there looking for Ruben, and then they suggest maybe she can help them out. And she should have been, confused. Like, what the hell are y'all talking about? What's going on? Like, I don't really understand what you guys getting at. Who are you guys?
Right.
And
weird scene.
It was. And then Shingo comes and attacks them, and once again knocks them out, just like we talked about before. Like, these are some of the worst loan sharks that I have ever seen, because they're never going to collect any money. And then that was a short scene. So we're going to start getting into the movie. It's going to be really short scenes. Just a couple things happen, and then it moves on to the next scene pretty quick. Then the next scene, we're with Ruben and Nick. They're in the locker room. Nick is getting ready to go out to fight. Now, this is the 2nd round for them, so things are a little bit harder. It's almost like a video game where the first level was easy. The first level was easy, and now Nick is finding out, like, oh, this is a different type of fight, because the guy was actually beating him up for a little bit. And he noticed it. He ended up kneeing his opponent. He was laying down and did a knee strike, kneed the guy in the face. Then he got up, and then he hit him 2 times, punched him, and then knocked him out. Would that have been the point where you would have been like, okay, I'm going home?
I would have never went. I'd have just kept borrowing money, beat up the loan shark guys, and I'd have been good.
You were just told I'm never paying you guys back this money.
No, not doing it.
And we're going to get to another point where I don't think Ruben had any intentions of paying these guys back. And I'll get to that in just a little second. Okay, so when Nick walks back into the locker room, Ruben is in there. He's punching the punching bag. Nick tells him, don't go out there. This is not the same fight as the first round. But Ruben doesn't believe him. He's going to go out there. He thinks he got it. He goes out to fight. Nick watches through the vent. And just like Nick, Ruben is getting beat up in his match. Was this guy the wrestler? Did you talk about a wrestler was in this movie?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he was a wrestler, but he was doing like straight wrestling moves. Like
yeah. Well, I
That's
saw him. He pinned him. And I was looking like, why is he pinning him? Like why is he like, this is not how you win, guy.
Yeah.
So
he was doing real wrestling moves.
Yeah, so he slammed him a couple times. And then Nick sneaks out. But then by that point, Ruben is starting to take over. And he's starting to getting ready to knock this guy out. Nick sneaks in and then jumps into the ring, and Ruben is disqualified because of that. I wonder why he did that.
I think he was, and just my thoughts was that he was trying to get his friend disqualified so he wouldn't get whooped on. You know, or maybe he was trying to get them both disqualified. I don't know, but he was trying to get them disqualified, I feel.
Ruben should have been, well, he was pissed. He was furious. Because
Ruben should have been happy to go home.
But man, that was $15,000. That was $15,000 when you were about to win. $15,000. So Ruben gets disqualified. I'm sure he doesn't get that money. Nick, I'm quite sure he probably didn't get his money either, even though he won. But he still cost Ruben $15,000. So either Nick didn't get paid either, or Nick should have gave Ruben that $15,000 that he won if he got paid. We never see. We don't.
That would have been fair.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ruben is furious with Nick. Nick tells him he's out of control. They're in the locker room at this point talking, and then one of the henchmen, I think we called him Mr. C before. Well, he comes in, tells them that Mr. Lee wants to see them in the office. They cost I think his name was Mr. Tang, who was the owner of the team that they were fighting for. He lost some money on them. Mr. Lee wants to dismiss them, but then he tells them that because they were trained by one of the greatest shoot fighters ever, he was going to give them a pass. Out of respect for Shingo. He's going to also let them compete also in the finals. And he wants Shingo to come also. Now he tells them that also that in the finals they use weapons. He says that now I would have been out.
No. So it takes weapons for you to be out. Okay.
Yeah, weapons. I mean, who's going to fight with weapons? That's not going to happen. Fighting with swords and commas and no, hell no.
That's my only beef with the movie is it was all swoopy and no one tried to stick nobody.
No, I mean, I don't know. We did see some people get cut up a little bit later on. We saw some slashing.
Slashing. I'm talking stabbing.
Well, there was a stabbing also. There was a stabbing.
That was bogus, but yeah.
Okay, so then they're in the car. They leave in Mexico. And like I said, I don't think they got paid for the second round. Ruben is very upset with Nick. Ruben wants to fight in the finals. Nick tells him he's crazy. And he has a feeling that Mr. Lee is using him. So Nick is starting to feel something's not right with this whole thing. Next scene, Lee and Mr. Tan are speaking, and Lee says that Shingo is going to come. He has a feeling that Shingo is going to come. So he's pretty much has this all set up, and it's going the way that he wants it to go, because he wants to fight Shingo for some weird reason that we still never got clarity on.
Well, I mean, they talk. Yeah, they don't really clear it up.
Mm-mm.
And you'll get into that scene, but yeah.
Yeah, because at the beginning of the movie, like you could tell there was a problem with them at the beginning of the movie. So
Right.
it almost seemed like there was something that happened before the movie started, maybe in another tournament between Lee and Shingo.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe that got cut up in the
kitchen.
floor.
The kitchen lady, the restaurant lady, kind of alludes to it.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit in this upcoming scenes.
Right. Okay, so then Ruben and Cheryl are talking, and Cheryl is not happy. I guess she's at her desk doing the books or whatever. And Ruben says that he doesn't want her running his life the way that she runs Nick's life. And he says something to the effect like, it's a wonder that he's been gone for 2 years and wonder why he came back. Like, so I guess, she was pretty pushy and bossy on her brother. And then he pulls out that money, the $3,000, and he gives it to her.
Mm-hmm.
As they were arguing, and then Ruben walks out. So that's what I was talking about before. Like, it didn't seem like he had any intentions on paying back those loan sharks, the rednecks, that money.
No.
Just
that
turn
was
around
going
and give
straight. Yeah, that was going straight into the school.
Man, they must have really had some problems.
Big overhead.
Yeah, because that school did look nice, didn't it? It was a nice sized school. I wonder how many students he had. Okay, the next scene, Nick and Jill are in the restaurant talking. Jill tells him that she wants Nick to stop doing the shoot fighting and train for the Nationals. She suggests that that Nick asks Shingo for help, and Nick thinks about it. So, that was pretty much it for that scene.
Yeah, scenes get quick, man.
Yeah, they started getting quick. And then the next thing, Shingo is training in the park. Nick approaches Shingo, and as soon as he walks up, Shingo says no. Nick didn't even get a chance to open his mouth and really say anything. He apologizes for going down to Mexico and participating in the shoot fighting, and then that's when Ruben approaches, and he tells him that he knows that Shingo used to be a shoot fighting legend, and he wants him to come back with him to Mexico. And Shingo says no. Nick tells him to forget about shoot fighting and let's train for the Nationals. Ruben says that screw that point fighting. This is a real fight. And he asks Shingo to train him for the finals. And then Shingo tells him that Lee is lying to you. You're not going to win. Then Ruben decides to do it on his own. I mean, he took some risks. I mean, we see him going, and he went to like a kickboxing gym. That was fine.
Right.
But then he starts doing some other stuff in the next scene. We get a training montage. So we see Shingo training Nick. I don't know what they were doing. Like, it was almost like one steps, but he was stepping forward and falling down, and I don't know. I didn't get that what they were doing right there.
I didn't either.
Ruben does some kickboxing stuff in the gym. Then they're both doing various exercises. So as you can see, they're training individually. But then Ruben was doing this one exercise when he was in the ring. Did you see this? And he just had the person that he was sparring with hitting him in the head. And he had his hands down. He wasn't doing any type of blocking or any defense. He was just allowing his opponent to hit him in the head. That was crazy. And then
toughening up, I guess. I don't know.
Then we see Nick, he does a full split. I'm like, okay, here we go again. Every one of these martial arts movies, they have to put somebody in there doing a full split, huh? If it ain't going to be Jean-Claude Van Damme, it's going to be Mike DiBernardo in this movie. Nick is training with a bow. He's doing a form. And then Ruben decides to fight a street gang. He just walks up to him and gives it to him, and he beats him up. And at certain scenes, you could see him starting to change. If you look at his face as he's out here doing this stuff, he's starting to lose it a little bit.
Starting to become evil.
Yeah, and we definitely see that later on in the fight. Also, I mean, in the movie also. Mm-hmm. And then this was a pointless scene that came up next. It was just stupid. And that's what I'm gonna say. It's one of the reasons why that kind of made me not give this 100% for the movie. But Nick and Shingo, they go play basketball. They go to a basketball court, and then there's a little kid there, and this kid is just weird. I don't know if something was wrong with him, if he was cognitively impaired, or if when you guys see this and you see this film, just look at this kid. Like he's a weird kid. He's bouncing the basketball. They're talking to him. He does not really respond to them with words. He just kind of just bobbing his head up and down. I was like, this kid.
What's the point of it?
Yes. So then they start shooting baskets, but they don't shoot normally. They turn their backs to the hoop and they throw the ball over their head. What was the point of this? And the kid is doing it too. The little weird kid is flipping the ball over his head too and is going in. Nick couldn't get it. I think maybe eventually get it. I don't know. I don't know if Nick actually got it in or not because I stopped paying attention. Like I started daydreaming or something at that point because I was just a little point to it. Yeah. Then we see Mr. Lee. He's practicing with his sword. So I guess it's time to go back for the finals because Ruben comes in and tells him that he's there to fight. Mr. Lee tells him that once you start, you cannot finish. I mean, you can't quit. You can't quit. It's finals. Mr. C takes Ruben to sign some paper. And then Mr. Lee sees that Shingo hasn't arrived. And he says that he should have had invited him himself. The next scene, Nick and Jill are talking. Nick is worried about Ruben, and then Jill says, asked him to go down and stop him from fighting. Okay, like we're almost done with this movie now at this point.
It goes quick.
Yeah, it does.
But it's a long movie. It's 134 minutes.
Yeah. But I mean, that's pretty standard for the 80s and 90s movies. Like now, movies go a lot longer. Like that damn Avengers movie. Oh my god, the last one, Endgame. That was 3 hours and some change.
That was a long movie.
Yeah. Back in the day, that would have been a movie that came on a VHS. It would have been 2 VHSs.
Oh my god!
Remember those?
Yes.
I think Casino was like that.
Casino
it was like 2
was one. Yep.
Tapes.
Oh my gosh! You brought it back.
Forgot about that, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Ruben enters the locker room with the other competitors. They're loosening it up. They're getting prepared. Ruben sees a competitor named Mongoose. He knew Mongoose from tournament fighting. He walks over and speaks to him. They ask him, what's he doing here? And Mongoose says that he is there because he needs the money. And then another competitor. Did you see this part or pay attention to this part? Another competitor yells at Ruben. This guy has some mental problems. He has something wrong with him.
Hawk.
Yes, his name is Hawk.
Yep.
And he tells Ruben, I hope you brought your body bag. Now, did you get that reference right there?
Yeah. Put him in the body bag.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's from the Karate Kid. So I had a good laugh when he said that. But I was wondering, like, what's this dude's problem? Like, you haven't seen Ruben ever. As soon as he walks in, you have an issue with him. I didn't get that at all.
Maybe just because he was the new guy or something. I don't know.
They all should have been new guys because they're alive. Yeah. They all should have been new.
Right.
There's only one survivor in the finals. Okay, so now Nick is going to listen to Jill. He jumps on his motorcycle and he's headed to Mexico. Outside of the arena, we see people arriving in limousines. They have tuxedos. They got all dressed up for the finals. Okay, so an exhibition fight between 2 ex-shoot fighters. 2 shoot fighting champions. One guy's named Boa, the other guy's named Buck.
Boa about the time I quit.
And Buck.
I'd have been out.
Boa, did you see Boa? He was licking the snake. He had a snake with him, like Damien. Jake the snake. He was licking, kissing the snake. Buck enters the cage, and then they start to fight. Now Boa is doing some type of snake style martial art. I'm really starting to hate these animal martial art things because they look so stupid in these competitions.
And he licked the snake.
Yes.
Like, you can get salmonella from reptiles. Don't he know that?
Obviously he doesn't. You know.
Man, if I had done this and went to this tournament, the minute the guy had the snake, I'd have just fainted. Nuh-uh, man.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't quit at this point. You
killed me.
They would have attacked. So they started fighting, and Boa is moving like a snake. He's doing all of these weird gyrations like a snake. Buck throws him around. I don't know. It was kind of messed up. He gets him against the cage, and the people are screaming. They're bloodthirsty, right?
They are.
And then Buck reaches in and pulls out Boa's heart. So he just punches him right into his chest, and then just pulls out his heart. And that was the end of that guy. And that was just an exhibition. That wasn't even part of the tournament.
He got a killing bonus or something. Something about these movies from the 80s and 90s about throats getting ripped out and hearts getting ripped out.
Yeah, like, come on. That's a little extreme, Especially just a tournament. Like, Jesus, come on, just a tournament. We're just trying to make some money and have a good time punching and kicking each other, You had to kill me. Hey, man. Okay, so then the next scene, the security comes and takes the fighters to the ring. Ruben comes face to face with Hawk. Doesn't like him. I don't know. They're just looking at each other. The fighters enter the arena. The referee the referee introduces the fighters. And then the first match is Creon against Mongoose. Mongoose, once again, was the fighter that Ruben had already knew from point fighting days. They go back and forth a little bit during their fight. And then at one point in time in the match, they slide the weapons into the cage with them. They have swords, and then they have kamas. They cut each other up. And then eventually Mongoose gets his neck sliced. And he dies. And Ruben is just sitting there watching.
In shock.
Yes.
The look on his face is like, what the heck did I get myself into?
Yeah, Mr. Lee was slick. Like, he didn't tell them that this was gonna be a fight to the death. They just I don't know what Ruben was thinking though. Like, you knew they were gonna fight with weapons. Like, what other purpose would a weapon have to be in the competition unless to off you?
Right.
That should have been the alarm right there. That should have woke him up. Said, okay, I'm out. You should have did like that.
Are they padded weapons? What's going on? What's really going on?
You wanted to know if they were foam, huh? You wanted to know if
I'm gonna have the nunchucks that were foam. Remember?
Yeah, I remember. You wanted to make sure that the weapons were manufactured by Nerf. That's what you wanted.
For sure.
Okay, so now we see Nick sneaks in, and then Hakeem is waiting there for him. He's there.
Did you notice that there was a bow casually just in the background? I was like, "Oh, Mike Bernardo about to grab that bow."
It was 2 of them. It was 2 of them. And the funny thing about that also, because Hakeem was dressed up right for the finals, that's what it was. Because when Nick walked in, that he was not at the finals location,
but he was walking through the back way.
No. This is an entirely different place. You didn't peep that.
I thought it. See, I assumed. That's right, because he got back on the motorcycle after he beat.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
So Nick went to the original place,
right,
where they were at, but that was not the place where they were holding the finals. So, yeah. So him and Hakeem eventually start to fight. Right. Back to the arena. 2 more fighters are entering the cage. They have weapons from the very beginning. They didn't do the first fight. They had weapons at the beginning. Nunchucks against some sticks. I think it was the sticks, the Arnis.
Scrimma sticks.
Yeah. So they're going back and forth, and then one fighter.
The guy looked like Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah,
I was cracking up.
He did. And then he one fighter breaks the other fighter's neck, and Ruben once again has a shocked look on his face. He's staring. Back at the other place, Nick and Hakeem are fighting, and now I didn't really like this fight. It looked too choreographed. It was It was entirely too choreographed. They were fighting with the bows. Nick puts the bow down, and because I think Hakeem lost his bow, so then Nick puts his bow down. He lets him back up, and then eventually they start fighting again. And then Nick chokes out Hakeem by his hair. It looked like that was his hair that he choked him out with.
Hair or like I don't know, part of the suit or something.
I thought it was his hair. I thought they were trying to,
I'm gonna go back and see if I can see what it was.
Okay,
because I'm curious now.
If you guys watch it, also let us know. Just going onto the Martial Arts Internet page under our post for this podcast, and then let us know. Write down in the comments and let us know if you think that was his hair or not, or I don't know. It looked like the hair. It looked like Hakeem's hair to me. But that match was so fast. I mean, that fight was so fast. It was like, okay, I thought, like I said, it was too choreographed and it ended quickly. Yeah. So I was a little disappointed by that. So
especially with him supposed to be the champion.
Yes, exactly. With him being the champion, right. I thought it would have been a little bit longer. Okay. And now the third thing that this really pissed me off. This is what brought it down. These three things are what brought it down to 98%. We get another black guy. You already know, don't you? You already know. That's why you laughing. We get another black guy pretending to be a monkey. Another black guy is pretending to be a monkey and doing monkey style. I don't understand. Like, okay, if you're trying to say, okay, that these black fighters got their skills from the jungle, well, damn it, can't a brother be a lion? I mean, come on. Elephant style, something but a monkey. But this brother, too, he was making monkey sound.
Noises. The noises, right.
He was doing it was like monkey noises mixed with Bruce Lee. So this idiot is jumping around, rolling around, jumping on the cage. At one point in time, he doesn't even worry about his competitor. He's hanging on to the cage. He's looking out at the audience.
Yeah, he's playing to the crowd.
And making monkey noises at them. It's like, okay, brother, go ahead.
Yeah.
Just make an idiot of yourself for all these people. Come on, man. You can't do that. Like, please, man. No. Never, ever, ever should we see any more African Americans pretending to be monkeys in movies or monkey style. And I swear to God, man, I don't care if I see somebody else doing that in sometime in a movie, like after now, like 2000 in the 2000s. If a movie is made in 2000. Shit, anything, 2000 anything. I was about to say 2020, but no. In 2000 anything, if I have an opportunity to meet him or her, I'm going to say something. I don't care.
You have to.
I have to. I don't care if I'm at a comic book convention and I see him. I'm going to wait in that goddamn line and I'm going to pay my money to cut their monkey ass out. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I promise you, Mike, I'm going to do it.
It's been like every movie, though. You're right.
Just about like, God, come on, we can't see no white monkeys? We're not gonna see that, are we? No, we're not gonna see that. No, come on, man. Come on, we had the other guy, he was being a snake, he was doing snake stuff, but still, like, oh, that's just not cool.
A snake's cooler than the monkey. Yeah, I get it.
Okay, so we just gonna skip past this idiot's part of the movie, and I'm just gonna move on to the next one. Nick grabbed someone and asked them where the finals are. He had him back in a chokehold. Yeah. He finds out where the finals are. He jumps on his motorcycle and then he takes off. And now Ruben is up. Ruben is up to fight. He's fighting Hawk, the guy who had been looking at him, and I don't know what this guy's problem was. They didn't explain that.
He was a tournament bully.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, they start a fight with swords, and they're going back and forth. And we see Nick arrive as Ruben is in the cage. And Ruben is getting cut. And we see Nick sneaking around. He beats up a couple of henchmen. Hawk has lost his sword. And then Ruben starts to kick him. And he gets him against the cage. Ruben knocks him down. And he has the sword on him. So Ruben is thinking that it's done. Mr. Lee tells him to finish him. Ruben is reluctant. He doesn't want to kill Hawk. But then Mr. Lee lets him know that he can get back up and continue. He can fight again. So he's pretty much letting him know, like only the strong survive. You have to, if you want to win, you have to kill your opponent. And then that's when we see Ruben take the sword, and stabs Hawk in the throat or chest. We really couldn't tell, and he kills him.
But did you notice the part? It was like kind of another Karate Kid type thing where Lee was like, "Finish him!"
Yeah.
And I wanted to look at him and be like, "No, Sensei."
Yeah. It was almost like that part in the movie The Karate Kid when he told him to sweep the leg. It was like that. You know.
Problem with that. Yeah, I mean, it was just.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
He just went ahead and said no mercy. he should have just went ahead and said it, because man, it was so close. Nick tries to get in the cage, and then we go to the next scene. Nick is in Mr. Lee's office. His henchman has stopped Nick from getting in the cage. He wants to take Ruben home. He wants to leave. He wants to be out of here. Mr. Lee tells him it's too late. He's already signed a contract. Nick asks to fight. He wants to take Ruben's place. And says if he wins, Ruben can leave with him. Mr. Lee says he has a deal, but Mr. Lee will pick Nick's opponent. I would not have trusted him saying that. That was dumb.
Yeah.
Because, as we see, Ruben was in the locker room. He was distraught because he just killed someone. That was pretty. That could have been dangerous for him if this was real, because now you're at the mercy of Lee. Because Lee could have had it on film that, hey, you killed someone. You have to do whatever I tell you to do, or whatever I ask you to do. That could have been a messed up situation for Ruben. He could easily say, okay, look, Shingo did. If Ruben won, he could have said, okay, go get Shingo. If you don't, I'm sending this tape to the police. You've killed all of these people, in order to get to the finals and win, So he was actually in a messed up situation. Ruben doesn't want to continue, but Mr. C tells him that then he loses by forfeit, and to lose is to die. Mr. C tells him that a lot has changed. He'll fight tomorrow. Tells him to go home and get some rest. Yeah. And then the next thing we see, Mr. Lee, he calls Shingo and tells him that he wants him to come and fight. I wonder how he had his number. He had his number this whole time. He tells him he wants to come down. Tells him that he has the students and they're gonna fight. So Shingo pretty much doesn't have a choice. He tells the old lady that's in the kitchen what's going on, and he leaves. Cheryl comes into the restaurant, and she's speaking with Jill and the old lady. Finds out that Shingo, Nick, and Ruben are all down in Mexico for the shoot fighter fight. So she's pretty much worried after that. Mr. Lee tells everyone the competitors tells everyone that one of the competitors is injured and there's a replacement. Then he introduces Nick. And Nick and Ruben are scheduled to fight. Now this is what that was slick. I mean, okay, because he had no way of taking him home. I mean, if you won, yeah, you could take him home, but you're gonna take home his body. You're not taking him physically home.
Right.
Um, so they fight each other. They're punching and kicking at each other. They got weapons. Ruben looks weird. He looks possessed. He doesn't look like he's his normal self at this point in time anymore. Um, then we see, as we're watching them fight, we see Shingo sneaking into the finals. And he's beating up people as he's making his way to the arena. So he's pretty much beating up the henchmen, not ordinary spectators. He's beating up henchmen as he makes his way. As the boys are fighting, Ruben tells Nick that he can't quit. Nick wants to just stop and leave, but Ruben tells him he can't. Nick starts winning and he gets Ruben down, and then Nick stops and he's just standing there. I think he had a bow.
Bow.
Yeah, he had a bow on Ruben. Then the crowd starts getting upset because they were out for blood. They wanted him to take him out, and then that's when Shingo comes in. He asks for Nick and Ruben to be set free, but Mr. Lee tells him in order for Ruben and Nick to be free, Shingo has to fight in their place. And then Mr. Lee says if Shingo wins, they all can go free. But if Mr. Lee wins, Ruben and Nick have to continue the fight.
Yeah.
Shingo enters the cage. This was not a long fight at all either. And this is the final match. This is the end of the movie. Mr. Lee and Shingo start to fight. They pick up weapons. They're going back and forth. Mr. Lee kicks Shingo into the cage, and he broke the cage. He fell back, and the cage fell down a little bit. And I guess Shingo got pissed because he took his shirt off, and then he starts hitting the weapons
what was
together.
That?
Like a stick. I don't know, but the whole crowd got into it. They started.
Yeah.
I don't know. They got into it. I don't know. They were feeling good. I don't know. And
then he stops.
Yeah, then he just stopped.
Weird.
And they continue to fight. They eventually put the weapons down and start going hand in hand, throwing punches and kicks. Shingo is winning. Shingo is pretty much destroying Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee falls down. And then inside of his cast, he has a knife. Like one of those, what's it called? Butterfly knives?
Butterfly knife.
Yeah, he pulls that out and he runs towards Shingo with the knife. And then Shingo catches him, locks him into an arm lock, and then he starts punching him repeatedly. He breaks his arm. That was a gruesome shot.
That was sweet, though.
Yeah, but that was nasty. that was sick, but it was nasty. And then he jumps up in the air and comes down and stomp. I looked like he stomped him in the back. I couldn't tell if it was a stomp or if it was a knee that he came down on. And the camera is just looking at Shingo as he's standing there. And then next thing you know, Shingo is on the beach doing a form. and roll credits. That's it.
Roll credits.
So, so that was a whack ass ending. I mean, okay, they could have explained. They could have had some dialogue between Nick and Ruben a little bit, like apologizing or something. Is Ruben okay mentally? Is he going to jail? He literally murdered someone. Is he going to get money for his time? Like, what happened with the rednecks? What happened with the school? Did you lose your school? Like, it was so much left. They could have.
Girl mad when you come home?
Oh, she had to be pissed. I mean, like, Cheryl seemed like the type of woman that probably would have told him to go confess to the cops. Like, go turn yourself in.
Yeah, she was a goody two shoes.
Yeah, go turn yourself in. I'll see you in 25 years. Don't worry. I'll wait for you. I'm not going to do anything, But that was a pretty good movie. I did like it. I did enjoy it, Mike.
I did too.
Like I said, I would almost say I would almost give it 100, but a couple of little things. I'm say I like 98% of the movie.
Yeah, it gets 3.5 stars for me.
Okay. What was your favorite part of the movie?
I liked the arm break scene. I thought that was sweet. I liked the Harley that Mike Bernardo rode on. Thought that was sweet.
Okay.
I just like that it was, I believe actually the Mongoose was a sport karate competitor.
Okay.
So I like that the sport karate competitors were in the movies. Like I said last episode, that's what really drew me to the movie. And then, that typical Mike Bernardo bow form, he did almost every part of his bow form in that movie. So, it's sweet childhood.
Okay.
I liked it.
I like the Karate Kid connections. That was my favorite part. Just seeing William Zabka and Martin Cole in that, and the little nods to the Karate Kid that the movie did. I like that. Like I said, it easily could have been the epilogue to the Karate Kid. Easily, it could have easily did that. So that was pretty cool. So I'm gonna pick the next movie, Mike. You ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's called Way of the Dragon.
Way of the Dragon.
Also known as Return of the Dragon. 1972 Bruce Lee movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is the movie that has...
I don't need to watch this.
You don't need to watch it.
Man, I know this by heart. You want to review it right now? We can review it right now.
I can't review it right now. I have not seen this movie in almost 30-something years. Like, I haven't seen this since I was a little kid. Like,
I bet you I watched it probably four weeks ago when we were on lockdown.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I bet you I watched it once or twice a year.
You must really like this movie then.
I love this movie.
Okay. I was looking at I wanted to watch a Bruce Lee movie next, and I was debating between this one and Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon is my favorite Bruce Lee movie. That was my favorite one out of all of them.
Yeah, I like that one too. And I'm not a Bruce Lee fan by any means.
I'm not really funny.
I don't like Bruce Lee. He's a CrossFit guy.
What do you mean by that?
Man, Bruce Lee was a CrossFit.
Wait. Before you say anything else, you do realize that you might be getting ready to piss people off, right? You do realize this. Okay.
And what part of that has you ever thought that I give a fuck about?
Not really. I didn't really think that.
So I mean, I think he was a great martial artist. Mm-hmm. Created his style, studied his style as a martial artist. I respect the heck out of him. Let me say that. He is by far a great physical specimen. He's in shape. I think he was doing CrossFit before CrossFit was cool. Like, decades before his time as a martial artist. But the thing that kills me is when people say he's a great fighter and could beat this person and this person up. Exactly. I know 300 people that give Bruce Lee work right now.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Bruce Lee is not
dead right now.
Bruce Lee is not, even in his prime, is not beating anyone I know in any type of fight.
Well, I understand that, and I know that, and I used to have arguments with people in the studio.
Me
about
too.
This.
If that pisses people off, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, it ain't pissing me off, and it's probably not going to piss off a lot of real martial artists. Some of the fanboy martial artists we might piss off.
Is Bruce Lee beating up Anderson Silva?
No.
Get the fuck out of here.
No. I don't think Bruce Lee is beating up Mike Tyson. I mean, I don't
Either
think so.
Tito. Either is Tito. Tito's not going to beat him either.
We're going to get to that in a second. We're going to get to that in a second. No.
Tito.
That's our next talk. Because I have some feelings about that. I don't even know if... Anyway, let's stay on Bruce Lee for a second. I used to have plenty of arguments with people about Bruce Lee. And I'm thinking like... me?
Who did you argue with that I would know?
No, nobody you know. It's going to be hip-hop people. It's going to be music people.
Let me ask you this. Someone in our circle that I think would be a big Bruce Lee fan, Dowdell.
I never talked to Mr. Dowdell. I never talked with him.
I wonder if he's a Bruce Lee guy.
Why would you think that?
Because he's old.
I mean, Chris did grow up in the 70s, but
I had to get my shot on him because he always shoots on me, man.
I don't know if he was either. We talk about a lot of stuff, but I've never talked to him one time about Bruce Lee. We talk about comic books. We talk about wrestling.
Yeah, that's my guy. And I love Dowdell. He loves wrestling.
Yeah, but we have never talked about Bruce Lee. So
I just
mainly,
feel he's a Bruce Lee guy for some reason.
I'll ask him. I'll send him a message on Facebook and ask
Yeah,
him.
we have to.
But it's pretty much people who are not martial artists, people who look at Bruce Lee like, the martial arts version of Jesus, and they think that he can beat anyone no matter what. I'm like, no, like Bruce Lee, you like Bruce Lee because he was the first. He pretty much introduced America to karate, quote unquote, martial arts.
Films.
Yeah, because he's an actor. I just say he's an actor. I was like, you guys don't really think the stuff that he's doing in those films is really happening, right? Like, you don't think that's reality TV. That the camera's just really following him around and he's flying. No, like, it's a movie. Like, I don't understand. Like, why are y'all so fascinated with him as far as being a good fighter? I just didn't get it. I argue with people all the time. I'm like, there's no way. Like, Bruce Lee has to be, like, he's not 6 feet. He doesn't look 6 feet. And if you take someone that's over 6 feet that trains just as much as him, and this is, this is really, I just never understood, like, why someone thought that Bruce Lee could beat anybody up. That just,
Bruce Lee would probably whoop me because I'm out of shape. But I'm just saying, I got this COVID 24 outfit on.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, these people would say anybody, like Bruce is beating up anybody. Like, that's just not happening. I don't, I want to see, who I want to see Bruce Lee fight? I want to see Bruce Lee fight Floyd. That's what I want to see.
Floyd and murdering.
All right, this is what I'm going to do, man. In about 50 years, when I'm not here no more, and, Floyd probably won't be here no more, we're going to be in heaven. I'm going to set this fight up in heaven. I'm going to say, Bruce, you come here. Floyd, you come here. I'm going to be the referee. Let's get it on. Think I can pull that off?
I don't want to piss a lot of people off. I don't know if Floyd's going to heaven. Because I think he's got some cocaine and strippers in his life, man. And if that's a sin, hey, he might not go to heaven. I don't know. I just think Floyd and what's Floyd's spot he has in Vegas, man? What's it called? The Girl Collection.
Oh, no,
I'll be right there with Floyd because if I go to Vegas, that's where I'm going. I'm going to check Floyd's spot out.
All right, I'm tapping out on that. I wasn't expecting that. Anyway,
Travis, editing it out.
Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, Mike Tyson. So I have seen 3 different people talking about their fighting Mike Tyson. Yeah. So I don't know what's real. So I saw Shannon Briggs.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I seen Shannon Briggs. I seen Evander. I saw the poster for Evander Holyfield, and I guess Holyfield was calling him out, and then Tito Ortiz. Out of those 3, what do you think is the most realistic fight?
Tito. For Mike, Tito.
Why? Why?
I'm gonna talk wrestling.
That's a stupid fight, though. Like, why would Mike?
No. That's a smart fight for Mike. Okay.
No. I mean, just in general, like Tito Ortiz is not he's not a boxer.
You're trying to make sense of it.
Yeah, I am.
I'm trying to make sense of it. No, you can't. Think of it in terms of wrestling. Who else is going to draw more money with Mike Tyson? Tito. Who are the people who in this turns
I think Evander Holyfield would.
No, they've seen that. Everyone's seen that. They want to see
seen him
Mike
at 50.
Mike, it don't matter. Mike Tyson's turning face right now.
But
Tito is the ultimate heel. People are going to pay to watch Mike beat Tito's ass.
But do you think the average person who does not watch MMA know who Tito Ortiz is? I don't think
more so than Shannon Briggs, more so than Vanderlei, and no one will pay. And then the other thing is they.
That's right. I forgot about Vanderlei Silva.
Yeah, Vanderlei will beat Mike's ass. In a bare knuckle fight, he's 10 years younger.
Why would Mike Tyson fight bare knuckle? Like, Mike is going to be gloved up.
And Mike had hand problems boxing too.
He is going to be gloved up. He's going to be gloved up.
No, they just wrapped their wrist. They just wrapped their. Paulie Malignaggi got his ass whooped doing this.
No. I'm just saying, if Mike Tyson fights, saying Mike Tyson's going to have gloves on. I'm not saying Mike Tyson's going to do a bare knuckle fight. You think he's going to fight without gloves?
Yes, that's what they've been talking about.
Oh, that's
it's bare knuckle
for everybody. For Tito,
yes,
yes, and Evander,
yes.
Why? This is the first I'm hearing this is ridiculous. That's crazy.
Yeah, no one's gonna watch Evander and Mike fight again. It's
I
not
think
that
so.
big of a draw. I don't. It's
well,
gonna be.
If I wasn't a martial artist, I would not want to see him and Tito fight. I'd be like, who's
everybody
Tito
knows who Tito is. More people know now, especially the younger generation, who Tito Ortiz is.
But
more
Tito,
so than Evander Holyfield.
Tito was one of the main reasons why I started watching MMA. Like I liked that season of The Ultimate Fighter with him and Ken Shamrock. That's when I really got into MMA, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I believe like as of the last 10 to 12 years, Tito Ortiz has like won one fight out of 10 to 12 years. Wow, and that was against Chuck Liddell a couple years ago. Chuck is old now. Right. So, why would I want
to? He beat Chael Sonnen too.
He did. Okay, so 2 fights.
Yes.
And that's a long time. I mean, 10 to 12 years.
Oh, I know.
I would not want to see like Tito. Tito is better in MMA, and I could see Tito if Tito's going to take him down. But as stand up, he's crazy.
Tito's a wrestler.
Yes.
That's his base. That's what he wrestled at Cal Poly, I believe. He's a wrestler, man.
That's why I don't understand. Like, why would he want to fight? Why would he want to? I mean, unless he's doing like what I said on the last podcast, like I'll fight Mike Tyson for, for all those base dollars. But I can understand his point. But why would Mike Tyson want to fight Tito Ortiz?
Because I bet you Mike, if they're offering, what did Travis say? 20 million to Vanderlei.
He said for Vanderlei Silva. Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine what Mike's getting. Shit, Mike. That's a payday to Mike. That's what he was making back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad. It's sad is what it is. It's sad for people that want to see it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, but Mike looks like he's in phenomenal shape. I mean, I've seen some videos of him training. He looked good, but I just the whole bare knuckle thing's crazy to me. Anyways, I'm a big Paulie Malignaggi fan. And he was a boxer. He don't have knockout power. And when I heard he was doing it, and he had a side gig commentating for HBO, and I didn't understand why he did it. And to go on bare, and he got his ass whooped. So I don't get the whole bare knuckle thing.
This is the first time hearing that. I didn't even know. I thought it was going to be
Have you watched the fights?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
Watch them on YouTube. It is not for a boxer.
Yeah, so
it's not for a boxer.
Okay.
I don't watch it. You gotta watch it.
I'll watch it over over this next week or so. I'll pull some fights up and watch them. But I mean that whole
And Mike had hand problems fighting. That's what I don't get. Like he's broke his hand fighting. Like he's seriously had hand issues. I mean, and he's 53 now?
Yeah, he's 53.
So, 53, and he's gonna fight someone a decade younger. Oh no!
I never got that anyway. Like in MMA, like how come they don't have age groups in MMA? Like when Randy was fighting, like I never wanted to see Randy Couture fight, someone who's 10 years younger than him. That didn't make sense to me.
Because they should stop. Someone should tell them stop fighting.
But you don't do that in tournaments. You don't go to the seniors that's competing and tell them to stop competing.
You should.
I mean, like you are a senior, Mike. You do realize that, right?
Man, you're talking point karate where I can get up and go to work on Monday. There is a huge difference.
But you still have that competitive. You still got that competitive fire inside of you, so I can't tell.
Understand that, but I'm smart enough to realize I have a family, I have a career, things like that. I'm not going to get too messed up in a sport karate tournament. But if I had been an MMA fighter or a kickboxer, or even a full contact anything, and then at 45 years old, like I am, to go try to compete with say someone 35 in a full, get the fuck out of here. Someone better stop me and call me crazy.
But
I don't.
But all of his peers, but all of their peers are like that also.
I don't understand it, man. I do not understand it.
I understand it if they're going to be, if you're fighting someone else that's your age. I get that. I understand it. I'm not sure if I want to see that.
Okay,
but I get that.
Even in sport karate, you said sport. You compared it to sport karate. Isn't nobody watching the seniors? Don't nobody care? So don't nobody want to see two old MMA guys fight either.
But it's for them. They can put them on the preliminary card at 6:00. Let them fight. Let it get out this.
You are a fan, man. I love you. You're a fan.
I'm just saying they got that fire in them. I can't. But I just don't want to see them fighting somebody that's so much younger than them. Like I don't want to see that.
That's what's gonna happen with Mike. He's fighting somebody a decade younger, unless he fights Evander, and don't nobody want to see that, especially bare knuckle. I'd rather see them box.
Yeah, I was assuming that it was going to be a boxing match like this. You and Trav telling me that it's bare knuckles is ridiculous. That's crazy. I don't.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna get hurt. Somebody's gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
You watch it. It's a matter of time till somebody gets hurt doing that craziness.
Is it on
all over YouTube
only, or no. I mean, but when they have their cards, where are their cards? Like, is it on a channel or something, or
I don't know.
It paper?
I've only watched on YouTube. I know you could watch when Paulie fought. I almost rented it, but I think it was like $49. I'm like, I'm not paying this. I'll watch it on YouTube tomorrow. But yeah,
okay.
I think it is on pay-per-view. Don't quote me though.
Okay. Well, that's our time, folks, for this week. You guys let us know. Also, comment on this page on the Martial Arts Internet Network page on Facebook. Let us know if you guys want to see Mike Tyson fight and who you want him to fight. If you want him to fight in the ring with gloves, or if you want him to fight in the ring bare knuckle, let us know on that. Once again, next week,
you want to see him in a movie.
Okay, and then once again, next week we're gonna watch Way of the Dragon, also known as Return of the Dragon. You know what? Before we go, one thing also, it always confused me that because I always knew this movie as Return of the Dragon, and it always confused me that Enter the Dragon came after Return of the Dragon, because Return of the Dragon is his third movie or fourth movie. Well, there's another one on here. It's called Marlowe, which supposedly was his first movie that I've never seen. Marlowe.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I'm looking at his Wikipedia page. But Return of the Dragon was one of the earlier films, and when Enter the Dragon, it always seemed like Enter the Dragon should have came first just by name, and then Return of the Dragon came after Enter the Dragon. Those two always confuse me. But we're gonna watch Way of the Dragon / Return of the Dragon next week, and then we'll start our first part of the review. I hope it's fun, man. You said it's a good movie.
I like it.
Okay, I hope I do too. I hope it's not a Fearless Tiger.
I mean, you gotta watch those. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm kind of used to that.
Yeah,
I'm kind of used to that stuff, and that'll be all right. But I'm just a storytelling guy, so hopefully the story is good. All right, so okay, I saw that. Well, that's it for us for tonight. For everybody here at the Martial Arts Internet Network, thank you for listening. For me, Mike Gibbs, producer Travis Plowden, we will see you guys next week. Have a good one. Stay safe. Stay strong. Peace.